Welcome to King 5. I'm Andy Judson. This is The Week, a look at what made headlines in our region, along with your weekend forecast. In this episode, we go inside an admiral's visit with service members at Naval Base Kitsap Bangor. And we see how a Whidbey Island food pantry is working to reopen for its community after a flood inside the building. And we'll take a look at what happened when a driver ended up on elevated light rail tracks in Seattle. But first, 11 people were killed in a chemical spill in Longview on May 26, and officials are still looking into why the paper mill tank implosion occurred at all. Investigators with the State Department of Labor and Industries have opened an investigation into the disaster at Nippon Dynawave Mill. They will determine what caused the incident, whether any safety violations contributed to it, and whether any penalties or fines should be issued. King 5 South Bureau Chief Drew Mickelson has the latest.
1 week in, there are still so many questions. What caused this incident? Will this plant ever reopen? But the union says the focus right now still needs to be on the families and the survivors. The owners of Faye's Carriage are donating 10% of all food sales from the next 2 weeks to the victims' families.
We had cars waiting over 2 hours to get their cars washed.
Over last weekend, they raised thousands in a car wash.
$700 the first day, $2,000 the second day, and $1,700 the third day.
Their QR code is all over the restaurant that's across the street from the mill.
I'm not surprised, it being a mill town, all of the support for the community.
One call shakes the whole damn town, like timber crashing to the ground.
One Cowlitz County resident wrote a poem, Shadow of the Mill. She used AI to turn it into a song and put it online. She's received word from across the country from people wanting to help.
The message that we really want to get out there is how thankful we are for this community for stepping up and doing what mill towns do best, and that's support each other.
Josh Estes represents the union for the workers killed. He says their families need that support to continue. He says members are cooperating with the ongoing investigation and cleanup at the blast site. Estes says there is a fear the place won't ever reopen, and he thinks that's helping this community rally.
Those symbols, those smokestacks, those symbolize what those mills really provide, and they provide a foundation for community. They provide an economic benefit to a region, not just to that city.
Round here, sorrow lingers still in the shadow of the mill.
Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
King 5 has learned the identities of all 11 men killed in the May 26 incident, which Washington Governor Bob Ferguson has described as the deadliest industrial accident in modern state history. The tank rupture damaged admin offices, a break room, and operational areas inside the facility. The victims include those who worked as millwrights, electricians, and technicians, among other roles. Officials recovered the final remains on May 30th. Across the state, flags were also flown at half-staff all week in honor of the victims. Officials are still measuring the impact of the deadly incident beyond the mill's fence line. Nearly 2,000 dead fish have been recovered from the waterways surrounding the site, raising new questions about the environmental fallout. Alex McClune continues our team coverage in Longview.
Paper mill worker Skylar Thompson spent the past week checking in on friends who work at the Nippon mill.
I had a few friends that work over there and stuff, and know dozens of people that work at the same mill. And so, I reached out to a few friends at work, and I was like, hey, are you good?
His friends were spared. Now he's keeping tabs on the ecological impact.
We had people saying, like, dude, there's tons of fish floating dead in the slough right across the street from where it happened.
Washington's Department of Fish and Wildlife reports it has recovered about 2,000 dead fish, mostly carp, catfish, sunfish, and bluegill found in the ditches, canals, and sloughs near the mill. Most were found in the Coal Creek Slough. Officials say the total is expected to increase as crews continue to flush water through the ditch system.
To date, we have not observed any confirmed fish or wildlife impacts within the Columbia River main stem.
Fish and wildlife officials say the fish kill appears to be associated with high levels of pH in the water during the initial stages of the incident.
High pH, can damage gills and cause them to lack of oxygen, disrupt normal physiological functions.
Testing continues to show Longview's drinking water remains safe. Air monitors have shown no detection of harmful gases.
I'm grateful it wasn't worse.
The fish kill is another reminder of how far the disaster has reached as Longview and surrounding communities continue to mourn one of the worst disasters paper workers have ever seen.
There's enough life lost and affected by this that I'm just grateful it wasn't more.
In Longview, Alex McClune, King 5 News.
It's been almost a month since a beloved employee in a North Seattle restaurant was shot to death. The 25-year-old body was found by a coworker. Now, new video shows what led up to the shooting and the moments that followed. Now, we have edited the video so you won't see the shooting itself.
This video was taken last month as 25-year-old Kupsa Margarza was showing a man and a woman around Growler Guys along Lake City Way after hours. Investigators say they got there around 5 in the morning after meeting at a hookah lounge the night before. This video picks up about an hour later when they appear to get into an argument. As they walk to the back, you can see who police identify as the suspect, Lucas Logan, apparently raise a gun and shoot Margarza. We've paused the video here. You then see Logan and the woman try to break through the locked door, then run through the patio area and leave the restaurant.
That was King 5's Madison Wade. Logan turned himself into police and has been charged with first-degree murder, and there is no criminal case against the woman. Hundreds of immigrants are scrambling to pick up the pieces after the immigration attorney they trusted with their lives resigned from the bar, leaving them in the hands of a rebranded law firm. King 5 immigration reporter Sharon Yu explains.
The lawyer I had, Alexandra Lozano, doesn't have her license anymore, so I currently don't know what's going on with my case.
This client, who we'll call Sarah, and her mom showed up to demand Alexandra Lozano's office give back Sarah's legal files. They were one group of many gathered outside. Lozano gave up her law license last week after the Bar Association threatened to discipline her for alleged misconduct. Records obtained by King 5 show hundreds of Lozano's former clients accuse her of falsifying immigration documents, overcharging them, and hurting their cases to stay in the U.S. legally.
My VAWA is real, but because of the fraud, I don't know if my case is going to get denied or accepted.
Others, like this gentleman, also came to ask for his files back.
Wow.
And there was more action inside. Dozens more clients in the same boat. We try to get answers from the staff.
Hi. I'm looking for Miss Lozano.
Yeah, she's not here. I'm sorry.
Is she in the United States or is she in Washington State?
I can't make that comment.
Okay.
Because we're not informed, so
Okay.
I would just ask that no cameras here because of client respectfulness.
Yeah. So are you guys branded to lose legal now, or what's happening?
I can't comment on anything because
Okay.
I'm sure. I will have to ask you if you guys could please leave the lobby, please.
Back outside, some clients were holding paperwork with a new name for the law firm. Instead of Alexandra Lozano Immigration Law, it is rebranded Luz Legal. According to the Washington Secretary of State's office, Luz Legal, or La Luz del Camino Legal, is registered with Alexandra Lozano as governor. A governorship doesn't necessarily mean ownership. According to state law, non-lawyers, people who are not in good standing with the State Bar Association, cannot own law firms.
We understand clients have questions regarding recent news reports regarding Alexandra Lozano.
In a statement, Luz Legal said Lozano will permanently discontinue the practice of law and that clients' cases remain active and not affected by the transition.
I paid around $10,000 in a span of 6 months.
As for Sarah and her family, the uncertainty continues, going on more than 4 years.
It's very sad. It's very sad because I really worked hard for this money. My grandparents paid some of it to help me out. I've been fighting for this for so long, and I have a son here. For me, it's worth it.
When we come back, the Renton Police Department is finalizing its safety plans as Team Belgium arrives in town for a World Cup stay. And King 5 meteorologist Adam Claybon shows you what to expect from the weather this weekend right after this.
Hey there, everyone. King 5 meteorologist Adam Claybon here with you as we welcome you to the first weekend of June. And well, so far June has definitely been giving more of a January and kind of a June gloom type of feel, as we have seen, some of our warmer and sunnier days, but a lot more of them, the first few at least, have been generally cooler and a bit more active and even a little wet. And we do expect the weekend to provide more of that. So we're going to go over that and kind of tell you how that will probably persist into the start of next work week. And it's kind of good news because we're delaying the start of that true fire season because we keep getting these systems to come through from time to time. And with our drought conditions here across really the western part of the United States, we can take all the moisture we can get. West of the Mississippi, that's where you have the majority of the extreme and exceptional drought that is showing up here across the country. And for us here across the states, you can see some drought conditions across the eastern side of the state, moderate and severe drought there. West of the Cascades, though, you see that patch of yellow right there across the Kitsap Peninsula and eastern parts of Clallam and Jefferson County, as well as a little patch right there for King County. Well, that's abnormally dry soil, which technically is not drought. It either means that you're heading into conditions that could be drought or maybe coming out of conditions that could be drought. And so if we saw things continue to stay dry or saw a warmer than normal forecast ahead, we could be seeing that begin to spread out and maybe eventually see more of those drought conditions developing here on this side of the state. That's just not going to be the case. It looks like for Saturday, we have a chance of storms that are going to be out there. So more rain on the way, and it's going to be a cooler than average day for us too. So you can see the entire state pretty much covered by that light green color, which from the Storm Prediction Center is indicating there is the potential with the ingredients around for producing thunderstorms. Nevertheless, do expect to see rain out there with highs only in the 50s Saturday, 60s, but a dry day for us heading into Sunday as we get a break there between another system, which will eventually come in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Keep highs below those averages, upper 60s and low 70s, only low to mid 60s for highs on those 3 days. We will begin to climb, though, by the tail end of next week as we head into Thursday and Friday. Here's a look. You can see that the radar, it continues to stay active here as we make our way throughout the weekend, and that's because of that area of low pressure that you see right there that's finding its way through the region as we speak. So as we go here into the weekend, do expect that, especially for Saturday, that we will continue to have those showers in place. So into early Saturday morning, shower activity will be around, especially for areas over the Olympic Peninsula and for areas closer and south of Everett. Now that will spread out and we will have scattered showers, but the heaviest of them probably will stay near and south of Everett as we head on into Saturday afternoon. Again, the potential for seeing a few thunderstorms will be around. That will begin to die off as we head on into more of Saturday night and then into the day on Sunday. Check that out. We are beginning to dry things out and should see maybe a few light showers across the higher terrain, either the Olympics or the Cascades into the day on Sunday. But I think here into the lower elevations, we're seeing little of anything as far as precipitation at that point. Now that's Sunday night at 8 p.m. there. Now as we head into early Monday morning at 7 a.m., we're starting to see that next system finding its way on Futurecast just off of the coast and eventually is going to be working its way on through. All right, broader perspective of all of that. You can see that finding its way in here as we head into more of Monday morning. That will continue on into Monday evening and especially into Monday evening, Monday night, we'll have some of the better chances around as that system spins on through, producing more rain, which we'll keep around for Tuesday. And here we are early into Wednesday morning, about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning there, and then into the afternoon, still seeing some of those showers, although decreasing. We'll keep some of those chances in place as we head on into that point. Then things do start to die off as we head on into Thursday, and a ridge of high pressure could be building into the area as we head later on into next week. Now, I showed you the drought conditions, and you can see right here, we are actually sitting pretty again. We're not in dire situation right now for water, but we are going to see more rain here over the next few days. So really don't anticipate that we're going to have a lot of those drought conditions, or if anything, really spread out here as we head on into next week's update. And you can see for the higher terrain, between about 1 inch to maybe 2+ inches of precipitation is going to fall for the Cascades and the Olympics, getting close there. For those of us here around I-5, probably seeing anywhere between about 1/2 inch to perhaps 1 inch. And I think we're talking more on that range on the lower end, closer to 1/2 inch here over the next 7-day stretch. And then that rain shadowed area up there just north of Port Angeles and Sequim, heading up there closer to the San Juans, where we could see about 1/4 inch, but again, rain shadowing will limit some of the amounts that we see there. And as we continue on, we do anticipate a warm-up by the latter part of next work week. This is the Climate Prediction Center's 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, and it looks pretty warm for us here on this side of the country across the West Coast, which will be right around World Cup time. So that might mean some drier and warmer weather as we head on into that point. Here we are, though, early into your Saturday morning. Expect temperatures to be around those mid to upper 40s. A few lower 40s could be out there, too. And then highs heading to Saturday afternoon will be more so around those mid to upper 50s. Again, not a warm day at all, but it will be one of the cooler days that we have seen, or the coolest day that we're expected to see here over the next 7-day stretch. A slight warming trend over the next few days. Remember, average highs should be in the upper 50s, the upper 60s, to lower 70s. So we're not going to quite get there at least until about maybe next Friday. And if you wanted to check out what's going to be happening even beyond that, let's go ahead and take a look at that right here. You can see, looking at what some model data is showing as we head on into the latter part of next work week and heading into the following weekend. And again, we're talking about a few days out, so this is probably going to be taken with a grain of salt. But it does show that things do start to warm up. We showed you the Climate Prediction Center's forecast of it being warmer than normal here as we head on into that point. Possibly going to be seeing things quite on the warm side, too, as we head on into the following weekend and possibly into the beginning of the middle part of the month of June. All right, everyone, we'll take care. Have a great first weekend of June, and we'll talk to you soon.
Welcome back to The Week. When Admiral Daryl Cottle was commissioned into the Navy, Ronald Reagan was president. Now, 40 years and 7 presidents later, he's the highest-ranking officer in the Navy. And on his watch, he has made it a priority to make life better for today's sailors, including right here in Washington. King 5's Greg Copeland takes us to the naval base in Kitsap.
1, 2, and 3.
It's not every day the Chief of Naval Operations stops by for the ribbon cutting of a food court, but this is becoming a more common occurrence for Admiral Daryl Cottle.
I love it.
It's not that he doesn't already have plenty on his plate, but as a career Navy man, he understands that several little improvements to daily life, like remodeling this eatery, can have a big impact down the road.
These are some substantial portions.
As he puts it, knocking down the friction in life so sailors can focus on the task at hand. This 3-day trip in Washington included stops in Bremerton Monday and NAS Whidbey Tuesday, meeting with some of the men and women who've chosen to be a part of something bigger than themselves.
The CNO's visit to Bangor is his latest stop in what has been a very busy travel year going all the way back to last August. 70,000 miles, 9 countries, 103 commands, and 23 all-calls.
Attention on deck. All hands isn't just hundreds of sailors packed in a room to hear from the Navy's top admiral.
So I look forward to your questions. You make them hard, make them good, make them relevant.
Do you have any worry? What does the Navy consider? What is the future? What measures?
So what I would tell you is
it's about feeling heard.
What we do for you in the military.
And Admiral Cottle is listening, investing billions of dollars long-term in hundreds of projects to improve everything from food and family services to living conditions, even Wi-Fi.
Why would I want anything less than what I want for my own children to be not what my own sailors have? I want their dormitories to be, high quality. I want the furnishings in there to be good, the bed to be comfortable, the Wi-Fi to be fast, the galley to serve great, high nutritious meals.
As a former submariner himself, once stationed at Subbase Bangor, he knows a struggling sailor may be prone to choose a different path. And if he can use his position to invest in them to work through that struggle, he hopes they'll continue to invest in the Navy.
I think people are most professionally happy, Greg, when they come to work and they feel like they're competent and that they're trained at a level that they understand exactly what's expected of them and that they really, control their destiny and what we expect from them. And when that's the case, I think that gives them confidence. I think that gives them efficiency and allows them to go do things, for me that actually allow them to be synergized to punch above their weight class.
On Whidbey Island, the Queen Bee Food Pantry puts food on the table for thousands of hungry people. But now the pantry is struggling to reopen after a burst water pipe shut it down. As North Bureau Chief Eric Wilkinson tells us, the impact is being felt far and wide.
Queen Bee Pantry had barely been open 2 months when they were flooded out and forced to shut down indefinitely.
All of this is flooded, the chairs, all of that is soaking wet.
By the time Tanya Hernandez realized what was wrong, 4 inches of water flooded her floors.
Oh, Lord. What's next? all soaking wet.
A faulty water connection in her ceiling gave way, filling her community food pantry with water and forcing the place to close down.
We're not able to function right now.
Tanya and her partner Lila Haynes founded Queen Bee Community Pantry when they saw their neighbors in need. It started 2 years ago with a few items being given away on Tanya's front porch. Soon, donations filled her garage. By the end of last year, the pantry served 7,000 people from Clinton to Oak Harbor. Tanya knew it was time to open a storefront to serve more people.
So from here, you can see all the water.
A storefront that's currently unable to serve anyone.
We've had at least 50 people send us messages. Can they get food? We're not able to give out food right now until this is back open.
Tanya says there is disagreement between the building owner and the business above her regarding who's responsible for the flood. Insurance agencies are involved as her charity sits shuttered and families go without food.
We're ready to put everything back. We need them to put it back together.
For now, Tanya is holding fundraisers to help with cleanup costs and food replacement, hoping Queen Bee will soon be buzzing once again.
Let's get it together. Let's get this back open and get food on the table for everybody.
Meantime, what food they were able to salvage is being kept in these storage units while they wait to reopen. And at this point, they say they have no idea when that'll be. In Langley, Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
Talk about a wrong turn. Earlier this week, an SUV drove onto tracks and ended up inside a Seattle Light rail station. The incident suspended Sound Transit's one line for a couple of hours on Tuesday as crews worked to tow the car out. King 5's Bridget Chavez shows us what exactly happened here.
Vehicle is along the train track.
For the people watching it happen,
You said there's a car on the trackway. Where? Give me a location. It's on the platform.
the reaction was pretty simple.
It was insane.
Seattle police say the driver was first reported near Martin Luther King Jr. Way South and South Walden Street, but it's still not clear exactly where she turned onto the tracks.
This was a woman who made a very poor choice.
The driver told officers she was just following her GPS.
So I was kind of confused, but then she was like it was a GPS. I was also more confused, what GPS she uses, but I know it's crazy.
The SUV made it onto the elevated ramp at the Mount Baker station, several stories up, where there's no road, no lane, no shoulder, just track.
I have followed my GPS to places that didn't look right, but never down a railroad.
Transit officials say it's surprising the driver made it as far as she did.
It's disconcerting, and it's disconcerting to see that and just have her step out of the car and just be like, oh, well, here I am at the station.
The moment Sound Transit saw the car, crews stopped trains and removed the vehicle from the track. Police say the driver was taken to the hospital. She's not being charged with anything. Officers say she was confused, and there were no signs of intoxication. Sound Transit says this is a reminder, GPS or not.
When you're driving a car, you are operating heavy machinery and you need to be paying attention. And if you don't want to do that, we'll do the driving for you. It just needs to be in a train.
Well, the World Cup is less than 2 weeks away, and the Renton Police Department is playing a major role in keeping one of the teams safe. King 5's Brady Wakiyama has the story from Renton.
The home of the Seahawks will soon be home to another football team.
I'm the biggest soccer fan, I'm super excited for Belgium to actually be here.
Belgium's national squad is touching down in Renton, gearing up for its World Cup match with Egypt in just 2 weeks.
For the past 27 years, I've been kicking this ball around, and I'm not bored of it yet.
For diehard soccer fans like Joshua Torres, the goal is seeing the Belgium team up close.
I'm actually a big fan of the Belgian national team, so if they're going to be around here, I'm hoping I can catch a glimpse of them, maybe catch a practice or even just see them around would be awesome.
While Torres has his eyes on the stars, Renton Police are a major player in keeping the team safe.
It certainly is unique. It doesn't happen very often. Probably in my career, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
All month long, RPD will lead security for the team.
Really throughout the month of June, at the most, one day, we could have 15 different security spots, whether that's at the Sounders practice facility, or if it's at the hotel, or if it's in those movements for escorting.
A federal grant is covering the cost for security services, bringing in extra officers from around the area. RPD says 911 response times won't be affected.
We want to make sure that obviously the community is safe, all of the fans that are coming to town are safe, and all the players are safe.
As Renton gets a front row look at what makes soccer special.
Beautiful game. That's it. It's the beautiful game. I think it has something to offer for everyone, really.
Thanks for your time. We hope you enjoyed a look at all of the biggest stories of the week.